everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The New Ham. My name is Scott, call sign W4OLV. Last week I mentioned using Repeaterbook and RFinder to help you locate repeaters in your area. There's also a way to use them to help in the process of programming your radio. Stay tuned, I'll show you how to streamline your radio programming using these tools. Done is I've just pulled up Repeaterbook, and I'm just going to show you a couple of quick features in here, and then I'm going to pause, and then we're going to jump over to RFinder, show you a couple of features in there, and then I'm going to pull it up and show how that all integrates into the RT Systems software for my Fusion radios, and then show you a couple of other little tips on how you can use that with Chirp and maybe some DMR stuff. So this is the main page. I do have an account. I'm not logged in at the moment, but accounts are free on Repeaterbook. When I'm looking for stuff, I just jump down here to this North American Amateur Radio Repeaters under directory right here. And when you open that, what you end up getting is you have the North American map. We'll look at Tennessee. And when that opens up for the state, you'll see there are a number of different categories here. You can search by band, feature, linked systems, emergency repeaters. You can also look at highway corridors and interstate corridors that you may travel. But you can also look by some of the major cities throughout the state and the counties. One of my favorites is to look along the corridors that run through a state. I-40 is a major east-west corridor through the state. You get a few, not a lot, but Bristol is the farthest east, and then on over to Memphis. You do have a 6-meter, of course looks like you got some 2-meter, 70-centimeter stuff in there. And what's great about these is if you're looking for routes or you're looking city, any way you search on here, you can then go to the export up at the top, and you can export it into different formats. In this particular case, you can export it into Chirp. You can export in an RT Systems format, a CSV, which is helpful for DMR, ICOM, Kenwood, that's some type of travel. And then the Uniden Sentinel, which is, of course, a scanner. And what's really nice being able to use all these is it doesn't matter. With a Baofeng, you can just export it. And then when you open Chirp, you can import it into Chirp, and you have this set of frequencies in there for you. Same goes for RT Systems. Now, the comma-separated spreadsheet in Excel, you can use that for DMR, but there are some other steps. That's just going to get you the frequencies to set up your channels. You're going to also have to set up your talk groups and your zones. And if you guys are interested in seeing how to set up DMR, just let me know, and I'll do a quick video about that as well. So there's some nice, easy features that you can use. The corridors, the cities. Another nice one is really to just be able to search by an entire county. If you live in a particular county or you have counties next to you, Knox County is Knoxville, and you can see that looks like we've got some 10-meter, 6-meter, 2-meter stuff in there, 220, and obviously 70-centimeter, and it looks like we got a 900 megahertz in there. I've used a lot of these on the 20 and 7, or the 2-meter and 70-centimeter, not 20, in this area. They're all very good repeaters to use, and they reach out a fair distance. I lived about 50-ish miles out of Knoxville, and I could hit a lot of these repeaters on the 2-meter band. And again, you can export Chirp, RT Systems. Not really sure why that doesn't include the comma separated, or the other ones. I may be doing something wrong there. But again, you can take big chunks, export them, hold on to them to build your program for your radio. So we're going to pause just a second, and then I'm going to jump over to RFinder, and I'm going to show you a particular feature in RFinder that I think you will really like. So now we're in RFinder. With RFinder, there's a particular feature in here that I really like that you can draw directly from the website. What you see here is basically the same as Repeaterbook. We're going to put in a location, you pick your band, your modes, however many miles in radius that you want, you get that repeater list. So it's the same function. However, RFinder, if you look up here, search along a route instead, if you click that, it's going to take you to a slightly different screen where it's going to ask you to define your route. So we're going to say Knoxville, Tennessee to Lexington, Kentucky. Our bands are selected. We want 2 meters, 70 centimeter. We're just going to stay with FM. And we want a 10-mile width away from the roadway that we're using. In this case, that's going to be I-75. We're going to hit and we're going to get the repeater list. This list is quite literally all of the repeaters in a 10-mile width across I-75 from Knoxville all the way to Lexington. And you'll see right here in the middle of the screen where we come into Williamsburg, Kentucky, we've got a 70 centimeter repeater there, and it gives you all the information that you need to link into that particular repeater. And then that'll take you all the way into Lexington going along the same route. Now you can export this if you want to use it in chirp. You've got the comma separated values here for chirp so that you can send it out and then bring it back into chirp as an import. For me, this is probably one of the most valuable parts of having RFinder that you can use. You can just hit that route. It'll give you all of those repeaters. Now, sometimes if you're going a long way, you got to be careful. You're going to get too many. You may have to kind of pick and choose what you want to use. But you can create an export that allows you to get that in your radio. Now, what I really like about the RT Systems software, and we're going to jump out of RFinder very quickly, and then we're going to open up my FT2D programmer very quickly. With that, what you're going to notice is with this particular software, if you go to File, External Data, you'll see Repeaterbook Search, and it brings up this window. Put in your zip code, the radius that you want, pick your bands, in this case 2 meters, 70 centimeter, hit OK, and it's going to give you that 30-mile radius, and it's going to give you the list. Now here I use the city as the name. You can use state, you can use call sign. I don't recommend repeater notes. There's usually not anything in there. I like to use city. You'll see why in just a moment. We're going to start that at row 1. We're going to select all of those, and then we're simply going to apply. Close that out. You're going to see all of that information was transferred into our radio programming spreadsheet. Now, the reason I like to do this by city is now that I have it in there, I can arrange these and group them by city. You'll notice I have on number 3, you have one that's in Greenville, and number 10, one that's in Greenville, and then number 23 is in Greenville. If I simply highlight number 10, there's a couple of arrows up here. If I just hit up, it moves it up. If I go to number 23, I can do the very same thing. And once I get up to number 5 there, I have all 3 of those repeaters grouped. And when I'm in that city, I know that 3 through 5 is where I want to be on my radio. Now, let's talk about that route feature that was in RFinder. So we're going to back up to File, External Data, and you can see that route feature is highlighted down here. All we got to do is pick our bands again. Knoxville to Lexington, 10-mile width. We're going to hit OK. And you're going to get that very same list that you saw that was actually inside the RFinder website. I leave these by call sign because they're already grouped by city because it's a linear travel route. So you don't have to worry about that part there. We do, however, we want it to start at line 28 because we don't want to lose all of our original programming. We just want the route to take with us in addition to our original programming. So we'll start at row 28. We hit Select All. We apply. We close. And now from line 28 on down to line 67 is our route. All we have to do is start at 28, and along our route, we're just going to go through the channels as we progress to our destination. And on the way home, we just reverse the process. Here's the nice thing. Let's say you don't want to keep this route. You just want to go back to your original programming in your radio. Highlight number 28. Hold your Shift key down. Hit number 67. We're going to hit Edit, Cut. All that is gone. We're going to save it, put it back in our radio, and now we've got our original programming back, and we have space left if we want to put another route in later. Very simple. You can do all of this stuff through Chirp. The only thing is you're going to have to go to the websites, export the data into a CSV or a Chirp format if it's available, and then import it back into Chirp when you have your new file, programming file open. Very simple. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. I will do a video on Chirp if you would like me to. Just leave it down in the comments, and we will do that within a few weeks. Thanks for joining me, guys. Thanks for joining me today. If you've got a second, subscribe, like, hit that bell icon so that you know when the next video is coming out, and share with your friends. Also, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below so that we can continue to build the community and I can answer the questions that you want to know as a new ham radio operator. We'll see you next week.